Want to see some stuff I found? Okay, here's my latest haul. I've got a variety of plastic gears which came out of a VCR. They have a lot of extra detail on the surface. Very cool. Very chunky too, so I'm thinking this will probably get applied in an orc build. I mean, you never know, but that's what I'm leaning towards. Pretty cool. A lot of the metal from inside the VCR was really interesting too. So you've got these little jointed arms, as well as like quite interesting detailed little brass pieces. Also a lot of interesting plastic. The VCR I took apart was from, I think, 1987, so the amount of plastic in it was just crazy. Everything was made with this like super thick, heavy plastic. Next I've got this, I have no idea what it is, but I found it beside an old house. It's like a really heavy, really cool detailed piece of metal. These I actually got from my cousin. They're something from an aircraft, something from the landing gear perhaps. What's really cool about them, of course, is that they still function. This pivoting joint here definitely would make a really good hip joint on a robot or a walker or mech perhaps. Just some junk I found out walking. This looks like a sort of rough barricade or bunker type thing. Just another plastic bit I found in the world. Of course, I always have a lot of soap and creams and lotion type containers, which have sometimes really interesting shapes. Different cylinders of different grades, and this like stepped cylinder. This one's interesting as well. It's got a little bit of a like a taper or a flange to it. This is the top of an olive oil jar, and it just has a really cool amount of detail. Really, I think it would be a good barrel, or the end of a barrel for a large gun. This is one of my little secrets. This is the filter from inside of a bag of coffee. It has quite a bit of cool detail. I actually used it as a hubcap on my orc battle wagon. Ooh. Just in there. I like to use these lotion tops as gun ports or like a periscope opening. I've got this older tank build that I use that in. Just like that. Also, the top of the gun turret is made with one of those. The inner workings of various pumps and products always have a lot of really cool detail. So definitely will be some good application for these. This is an interesting one. This Whiteout Roller, which does come apart. It's got pretty good detail inside. I like this wheel. I really like the detail on this outer shell. It could be a lot of things. It could be the back of some sort of hovercraft. It could be the hip on a big walker. Hey, it could even go onto this piece as like armor. This cap piece from the same roller is pretty cool too. Just a good amount of detail. The plastic even has a texture on the surface, which is like a matte sort of texture, which looks kind of like cast steel or heavier cast metal, which is really cool. I had this old digital camera which I took apart, which has a lot of interesting pieces. I don't know if it'll show up, but there's teeth around the edge of this like a gear. This is all part of the lens apparatus. I have all the bits of the camera, but I just want to show these because feature these because they're cool. This one still has a little mechanism on it. There's the shell of the camera. It was a Canon PowerShot. I recently got a lot of VHS tapes, which are kind of a pain to take apart and remove the tape from, but there is a cool, I don't know, it looks kind of like a hub or bolts around a wheel, so I might extract this piece and use it in something. Also, just the amount of detail on here, these banded strips could be a good, top of a watchtower or something like that. Here's a printer cartridge case, just could be good element of an industrial building, perhaps. It's got good angles and rounded corners and stuff. I got a bunch of these toys. I'm not sure what they're from, but they just have interesting detail, which could be used in various things. This one's clearly some kind of propeller, which could make a really cool engine. I've only got one half of whatever this motorcycle was, but of course something like an orc doesn't care much for symmetry, so I can definitely apply that still. It's an interesting jointed piece with a lot of good surface detail. Here's a classic, the Tropicana lid. It's got that Gothic archway detail that a lot of people like to use. Good for the grimdark Warhammer 40k. I'm actually not sure what this is from, but it's a very cool detailed piece of plastic. Got this transformer. It was some sort of front-end loader. I've already taken it apart, but it had a lot of good detail as well. The shovel was really cool. Really nice detail on it. And a lot of the components themselves could be easily repurposed into a lot of different sci-fi type models. Some of it is made of die-cast metal, but it's got this good, this grating on it. If I can find the other half of this. So on the original model it would probably go something like this, but I could see it definitely being side to side as like the back of some vehicle with the turret here perhaps. A lot of possibility for that. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments what you are most interested to see go into a build. If you're new to the channel and you didn't mind me talking about garbage for 6 minutes, you should consider subscribing. Most of my videos are much more interesting than this.